march, certainly uphold freedom of speech, have conversations, listen, be listened to, and be heard. That was the most important message in a peaceful and safe environment. Unfortunately, later this evening, we had a turn of events where a crowd went from several hundred to about 7,000. During later in the evening, about 7,000, we had splinter groups that broke off, and they began vandalizing various areas of our downtown. The vandalism ranged from lighting objects on fire, broken windows, vandalism, but what is really concerning is when it turns violent, assault towards officers. We have a couple of officers injured. Someone went to the hospital, as well as we had 2 outside agency patrol cars burned.
How are this is the first that we are hearing of these officers who've been injured. Mm-hmm. What can you tell us about their condition right now and what happened in these clashes?
So, again, we tried to facilitate a peaceful protest, communicating with the various groups, trying to establish communication so it is peaceful for everyone. Again, 7,000 people is a very large crowd, especially for a law enforcement agency of 753 officers, and we've pulled everyone in for staffing, including partnering with our neighboring law enforcement agencies. Still, 7,000 is quite a large crowd for us. But again, it wasn't the whole crowd. These are splinter groups that often will break off, as they did tonight, and they'll engage in criminal activity. Having said that, the earlier portion of our rally protest march was very peaceful until later in the evening when it took a different turn. The officers, some have been treated and released. Another one is still currently at the hospital. But again, we are here to have conversations, listen, and have our community share and engage in constructive conversations without it being violent. And I think that is something that across our country we are all asking for, is a way to communicate, listen, be heard, and have dynamic conversations without bringing the element of criminal activity in.
Officer, was this expected at all? I mean, as you note, a crowd swelling to 7,000 is big for any police department to deal with. Obviously, your officers had to deal with it, some of them injured. You mentioned the vandalism. Was this reaction expected at all tonight? Had you prepared for the possibility of this?
Well, I can share with you, most of us have been up since yesterday, including myself, and we did not anticipate this. We monitor social media through intelligence, our intelligence unit, resources that we have available, and not only our department but other law enforcement agencies did not anticipate this type of reaction post the election. So we moved very, very quickly to gather our resources. And again, when you have such a large crowd and really